Joey.
Tim Haley.
This was a hard-fought win this weekend. This was no gimme.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you're right about that.
What would you like to say about it?
Well, I mean, you know, it was, as everybody knows, there's a new racing surface on this racetrack past the 330-foot mark, and you know, before that it's still the old surface. So you know, we've been racing on that for many years now, so it's easy to know what to do there. But afterwards, it's kind of like a brand new racetrack. So you know, yeah, it is difficult, but you know, we did find ways to kind of make it down the racetrack and put some decent numbers up. You know, nothing record-setting, but who could set a record on a brand new racetrack with, you know, with 100 and some degree track temperatures? You know, it was difficult, but you know, we worked together, and I tried my best to stay ahead of the motorcycle. You know, knowing it was probably going to break the tire loose at some point, and you know, my team did a great job preparing the motorcycle and giving me the best possible chance to make it down the racetrack every time. And you know, we already won the race when both bikes made it to the finals, both Terence and I. You know, the race is already won at that point for Team DME. It's just, you know, one more run, really just a shakedown pass. So.
Terence qualified in number 1.
Yes.
And with a pretty good lap. That was cool of the evening. Does that make all the difference in the world? It was the time of day and the heat on the new surface.
Yeah, that'll do it. It was Saturday night. It was, you know, felt like it is now. Not really any sunlight on the racetrack.
Right.
And track temperature cooled down probably about 30 degrees. They also did a really like thorough prep before that round, because I think they knew it was going to be the best possible shot to get a number. And people started knocking off some pretty good numbers. Terence went 87, I went 88, Tony Fisher went 88, and Roddy went 89.
Yeah.
So it was all really tight right there, and it ended up, luckily, Terence and I ended up number 1 and 2. So we ended up on different sides of the ladder, so we could meet the finals.
Yep.
And Tony Fisher ended up on my side of the ladder, and Rodney ended up on Terence's side.
Now you had run a pretty good lap last month on Friday, right? And
yes.
But was that also in a much cooler temperature? I don't remember what Friday was like at all.
Yeah, it was overcast, chances of rain. Yeah. So you know, the cool weather, cold fronts were moving in, and even though it was an even greener racetrack than it is now, it was still cooler.
Yeah.
And track conditions were better to get down the racetrack.
Was there a difference between the 2 lanes this weekend?
Yes, yeah, there was. There's a difference in the starting line. And there's a difference where the new asphalt started, from the concrete pad to the new asphalt. There was a difference. To be 100% honest with you, it was a lane choice race.
That's what I thought.
That got proved in the Pro Street final, and that got proved in the Real Street final too. For the first time ever, for the first time all weekend, I didn't have lane choice. For Real Street, I got put in the left lane. Joker just spun. And you know, we ran consistent. We went 3 774s in a row in the right lane, and go over the left lane and spin our butts off.
All right. So it was a real tuners race this weekend.
It was entirely a tuners race. Now, it was a combination of both. You know, you have to tune to it, but you also have to be prepared for the worst. You know, anything can happen, especially in this heat.
Yeah.
You know, racing in the summer, especially on a contact patch that's 4 inches wide at best, you know, with 600 plus horsepower, is really tough.
Yeah.
And it's tough to actually detune these motorcycles enough to go down the racetrack.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge in itself. And then also, you have to hold it locked until, but you have to be prepared for it to spin, and you have to know what's going to happen. Know what you have to do to get it down the racetrack in the best way possible. So it was a team's race this weekend. It was everybody's race. You know, the engine had to hold up to a lot of spinning.
Yeah.
You know, the tuning had to get you down the racetrack as best as possible, and the rider had to be prepared for anything that could happen. So it was a team effort. You know. But of course, I got to thank my our title sponsor for my Pro Street bike, Vance & Hines. Actually, this year it's Race Shop Components by Vance & Hines. We just haven't got the new bodywork on the bike yet, but also DME Racing, you know, Dimmy Ettinger and Andy Sawyer, and my dad, Skip Gladstone, who pretty much lives down there, Terence Angela. We're putting so much work into this race program, and you know, I got to thank the Dunnigans and the Connollys for you know, traveling so far all the way out from Michigan to race with us and you know, be a part of this team. And you I also got to thank our big sponsors like Lucas Oil. They're a big sponsor of mine. All these bikes use Lucas Oil. Blau Performance turbos. All the turbo bikes have Blau Performance turbos on them. Let's see, who else? CP pistons and Corilla rods. Baddest piston and rod combination in the business, hands down. Worldwide bearings. Let's see. Catalyst Racing Composites, VP Racing Fuels, Kinetic Gasket, we have Webcam, we have Penske Racing Shocks, they're another big one, a really, really big one. Let's see, APE for all the internal, for the crankshafts and the studs and everything that they have internally in the motor to really, give these things a lot of life. The bike won't crank without DCE. The DCE wiring, we have beautiful wiring harness done by DCE that's available to the public. It has, has a part number. Just the real street bike, the pro street bike, anybody can have those wiring harnesses, and they do great work. And they're really, really fast. So DCE wiring, that's a big one. Thank you, man.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Andy.
What's up, Tim?
Congratulations on tuning 2 bikes to the finals on what was a real tuners race weekend.
Yeah, it was a tricky weekend.
Tell me about it.
Well, it was just a hot and greasy racetrack, and we're on a new surface that's only got a month or so's worth of running on it. And when we were here, when it was brand new a month or so ago, we could actually run good on it, but it was cool, so they could, what glue was there and rubber was there would work. And now in summertime, there's not much rubber and can't put a lot of glue on it, so you got a pretty loose racetrack on the top end, and it's just hard to get down with a pro street bike. It was pretty tough.
Right. What kind of decisions did you have to make this weekend?
We had to pull a bunch of tricks out of our bag, I guess. I don't know if they were all the right ones, but just trying to take power out of them, trying to get them to go down the track without spinning, trying to keep from throwing the rods and spitting the valves out of them. And at the end of the day, we got 2 bikes in the final, and I think the motors are all in one piece. So
did you? Good. Were there apparently weren't enough tricks to use in that left lane, huh?
Yeah, there's a bump in the left lane that Roy said that they're going to be reprofiling or fixing it next week. That it's a visible, noticeable transition there, and we were able actually to get across that. But then at our next gear shift, once we're on the new surface, that's where we were really struggling, and just had to make the best of it.
Right.
So we didn't get very many good 6-second runs out of it.
I hear you. Okay, cool. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Yeah.